Hi, welcome to Not My Rabbit Hole, the podcast. I'm Tere Joyce, your host. And I had made it a recording, just literally 10 minutes ago. And the whole thing was just dumped. And I was like, damn it. Because I felt like I'd expressed some things in a way that I'm like, oh, it was funny. I don't know if I'm going to be able to repeat that. But I have had some coffee and a little MCT oil, and hopefully I can maybe remember some of the things that I said from before and how I said it. All right, so what happened is last night, I had one of those sleep paralysis dreams. I don't know if you guys ever had one of those where you're in REM sleep and you're trying to break out of it, it's like you want to wake up but you can't wake up, and then you're part of the dream and whatever. And I had one of those. Oh, it was just awful. I was dreaming about that I went into a haunted house with my mother, and and then when we were in the haunted house, I was being I feel like it was out of the dark, but I was being groped, which was really weird. And then I was like, ooh, this is not good, right? And then we were lying on a bed. My mom was next to me to the left, and I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I couldn't move. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't lift my hands. Couldn't do anything. And I was going, help me. And I was I've been drugged. And then I couldn't find my mom. And it was just, and finally I woke up. But waking up really wasn't much better, really, because, when you wake up from those kind of dreams, you're kind of groggy and, kind of out of it. And I went and I looked at my my cell phone, my iPhone, and there was a tweet by somebody that I know, and they tweeted a video of the president on a balcony waving, which I'm assuming was the helicopter that dropped him off in the hospital, that he probably went, hey, I'm feeling good enough, I'm freaking out of here. He's waving and it looks like he's having trouble breathing. Well, he wasn't really waving. Actually, he was standing there and he was going really slow up to his head to salute the helicopter. It took forever for him to salute his forehead, and then he's having trouble breathing, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Is he dying? What's going on? Then my friend tweets, well, of course he's having trouble breathing. He's been given all those horrible experimental pharmaceuticals and mouse pus. And I'm like, what? What do you mean he was giving mouse pus? What are they giving, mouse pus to COVID-19 patients? It's oh my God, just give me the bleach. Do I have a choice here? Well, I'm Dr. So-and-so. I want to know if you want to have mouse pus, or if you'd like to have, bleach as your treatment. Which one do you want? I'm going to think about mouse pus. Bleach. You know what? I'll try the bleach. Problem is I don't think, we're going to get a choice of what kind of medication we want. Can we go back to the hydrochloroquine? I mean, that, mouse pus. Why on earth would you need to use mouse pus to treat COVID-19? I don't know. Maybe, was it a joke? Because I even Googled it. I was like, did President Trump be given mouse pus for COVID-19? Oh, now we're gonna have a little bit of noise in the background here, of course. I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing this because I'm not gonna let look. I come from the land of stand-up comedy. If there's ever any type of interference into what you're doing, just plow on, because you know what? I actually woke up from my paralysis dream, my sleep paralysis, and damn it, it's not going to stop me from making a podcast on Not My Rabbit Hole. You know what? We can deal with some sort of noise happening on the street up ahead. So yeah, the mouse pus thing just really got me, and then I started thinking about a mouse. That mouses are tested on. I read a long time ago. Actually, I tried to make a joke out of it, but I don't think people thought it was funny or they didn't get it. They didn't, because it was kind of ahead of what we knew as. Okay, here's what it was. They made a human ear off of the back of a mouse. And I was like, wow, mouse ear. Like, hey, you know what? If you didn't have an ear, I might say, how about that mouse ear? Is that mouse ear going to be effective? I'll take the mouse ear. The fact that humans, certain animal parts can transfer over to human parts. I mean, just think about that. They've been doing that for a really long time. Our scientists have been doing things like this for a really long time. But, what about the mouse? The mouse isn't an individual. The mouse doesn't get to go, hey, you know what? Are you going to grow an ear on my back? Because I'm really trying to find somebody to fall in love with, and I like to make more mice. Because I don't feel like I want to have the ear on my back. Just the whole concept of a mouse, how a cat, because when I Google the whole mouse thing, like, was President Trump given mouse pus? And I came up, there was a Puss in Boots video, so there's the whole cat in the mouse trap. It's a mouse trap. Did President Trump have a mouse trap at the hospital? Then I go on Facebook. And I see people posting about how now Trump is going to be giving his blood to help everybody else. We'll be vaccinated with something out of Trump's blood, antibodies, and we're all going to be cured like Legend, right? Like now it's Legend. Now you're going to use me, and everybody's going to be injected with the Trump's DNA. And they're calling it tiger's blood. They're going to the whole tiger's blood theme, the whole Charlie Sheen and tiger's blood. Like, what is this? Like, is there like a race of people that have a certain type of DNA that they're supposed to be able to endure diseases better? My cat just jumped down. I don't know if you heard that in the background. But there's this little area that he likes to go up and hang out in, which is up above. I actually live in an RV. I bought an RV for $3,000. And I went, you know what? I want to make a mobile studio. This is my studio. Now, I know that sometimes I have interference. But this is where Not My Rabbit Hole, the podcast, comes from. And I'm looking into getting a solar generator. Like, I'm wanting to go off grid if I have to, because I don't know what's coming. When I wake up to mouse pus and tiger's blood, I think I better prep. It's time to start prepping, people. I'm like, you know what? It's the freaking apocalypse as far as I'm concerned. Now, today, I think it's going down. And I don't mean to be like, the purveyor of bad news. I noticed that a lot of my comedian friends that I've known over years have now become motivational speakers. Like, I never thought about going from doing stand-up comedy to going, hey, everybody, be positive. Take these vitamins. Wake up. When I wake up, I run 1,000 miles, and I take my vitamins, and I look in the mirror and I go, you're beautiful, and I believe it. You can all make your dreams come true. Okay. Like kind of going like the motivational speaker, quasi, the funny Tony Robinson, maybe. Or I guess every motivational speaker has maybe even something that happened to them that they overcame. But I guess there's a really good market in this. Like, you can make a lot of money. You dress professional, you go up, you make your points, and, you get the hell out of there, you get your paycheck, you go to the hotel room, have your dinner, and glass of wine, and go back to your hotel room, and, go along your merry way. I guess it would be a better living sometimes than, being a comedian. Sometimes that's difficult. But I gotta be honest with you. I don't think that I'm actually in a place to be giving anybody positive instruction. Because I just don't. I don't feel like I can, because I don't even know what's real anymore. Like this is like so Truman Show to me. I'm like, really? Who's writing this script? How did this go amok this way? That people are, I don't know. Maybe she was making a joke. Maybe my friend's making a joke, and because I was groggy, I didn't get it, and, mouse pus got into my, frame of mind. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to forget mouse pus anymore. I didn't even know mice had pus, really, that you could just go, how much mouse pus does it take to fight COVID-19? That's my question. How much mouse pus does it take? Anyone? Anyone have an answer to that? And now, maybe we're all going to be cured by our president's own glorious, elitist, better than superhuman antibodies that we can all take. But get with it, guys. It all came back to mouse pus. Like, did mouse pus play into the curing of President Trump? These are the questions that I have today. Seriously, I'm wondering what's going on. How do we get from point A to point B? And in a way, I have to look to reality television. Because I think President Trump, for a lot of people, embodies the American dream. Oh, anybody can just do this. If I want to and I believe in it enough, and I read my book, by Dale Carnegie about visualization and Think and Grow Rich, and, I get out there and I go to my my favorite motivational speaker, and I hear about all the things going to happen. I, too, can be a Trump Towers. Well, the Golan Heights are even, named after Trump now. Trump is the big man. If I want to, I as a little boy can look back. Well, I'm not a little boy, but I could go, I as a little girl, watching That Girl when I was growing up, about the woman who could go into the workforce. I too can be a big mogul if I want to, and have the brass ring. I could even be president of the United States. I could be the first female president of the United States if I just believed hard enough. Like Pinocchio. If you believe hard enough, you can become a real boy. And then if you have a conscience and you do good in the world, you can remain and really become a real boy. But this one's just a test. This is just a fake simulation of what being a real human being is really all about. And some of those human beings apparently have tiger's blood. That's why Charlie Sheen can do a bunch of drugs and still be standing. Because he is, a demigod? Or, what are we talking about here? Anyway, I went off on this trail about mouse ears and mouse pus. Because it also makes me think of a rat. Like, the poor rats. Who gives a shit about the rats? They just give a little pebble in the water and it keeps going in the same rat wheel. Like, who are those people? Like, is that us? Are we the rats? We're the rats. And then, then they'll go, okay, well, hey, rat, you want your ears back? A mouse grew one on his back for you. So, Be nice to your cousin, your genetic cousin, because they can put it on. I mean, think about it. Are we genetic cousins to mice? Anyway. Didn't mean to freak you out today. I hope you found this entertaining so far. And I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more Freedom of Joyce. Oh, I did it again. I keep calling this Freedom of Joyce. That's my old show. notmyrabbithole.com. We'll be right back. All right, so I took a break and fed the cat. So let's continue. Yeah, it makes me really wonder what this reality is sometimes. Like yesterday, I even posted on Facebook. I said, is this Wag the Dog? Is this Wag the Dog? Which is a really great movie. It starred Dustin Hoffman. And it's about how Hollywood creates a war for the people. The war's not real. But, you've got a country western music singer, only in America, or whatever it is, doing this patriotic song, getting the sentiment of the people, and it's all an illusion. It's all done in a studio. And I think people have been questioning that for a really long time. Like, what's really real? Like, is the chicken before the egg, or the egg before the chicken? Is the particle a wave, or the wave a particle? Well, a wave and a particle are the same thing. You can't discern the two. So thought is a reality in itself, that our thoughts create a reality. I mean, that's the whole thing, Dale Carnegie and the book Think and Grow Rich, and all these people who are really families, bloodlines, Rockefellers, DuPonts, JP Morgans, all these men that were participated in science and technology, and they were part of the Industrial Revolution, which created our present times. It upped us in warfare, everything. So obviously a lot of things are created by the human thought, and yet it feels like the human thought is running amok, like it's got a virus in it for some reason. And the people that are the movers and the shakers and know this are running amok with their knowledge of what that is. So I'm going to go ahead, because I'm a comedian. Like, I don't have to sit here. I'm not giving you facts, all right? I'm giving you perspectives of ways of looking at things, really. In maybe, hopefully a funny or an entertaining way. So I want to say, just to clarify, anybody in social media or anybody that's confused, I'm joking about the mouse pus as being a remedy. Obviously, that I couldn't find for sure if the president was given mouse pus. I don't know if tiger's blood is real. It's got a certain mythology to it. It certainly is a phrase that seems to be making a reoccurrence in our society right now, in respect to Donald Trump. But I think it's okay, for the next, 12 minutes, we might just put our conspiracy theory thinking hats on. But I find it interesting that Donald Trump is a product of reality television. And, he did The Apprentice for a really long time, and his children also guest starred on The Apprentice. And the only times I think I've really tuned in, I think I was the season that had the comedians on it, and maybe Clay Aiken was on the same season. It had Arsenio Hall, and it had the Queen of Mean, that one Lisa Lampanelli was on the show as well. and they were wanting to become celebrity apprentices. And well, the reason why I saw it was that I was hanging out with my friend, the Mustard Man, Mark Keekle, and he's a comedian, and so, you know, he was playing it. I was just moved up to the Portland area. I was like in Estacada, not too far outside of Portland. And we watched the episodes, and, you know, I remember it made an impression on me because, you know, I think comedians relate to other comedians in some ways. And I've worked with Arsenio Hall out of the Ice House Comedy Club. I've emceed there and brought him on stage and had a bit of interaction with him on stage, as well as, like, let's say in the green room or whatever. And so there was Arsenio Hall sitting across from Donald Trump, and he's like, well, why do you want me to pick you? Because it was down to the final two people. I think it was him and maybe Clay Aiken, you know. And Arsenio Hall is like, because I want to be you. Oh, please let me in the club. I want to be able to, you know, work with all the other people. Like, I want to be a big player. Because everybody wants to be a big player. And I think that reality television feeds into this sort of, you know, like being on a rat wheel. Like, you know, if you want to get out of the rat wheel, you're tired of being trapped, going around on the rat wheel, just getting by, just working so hard, you never get to rest. And you get to stop and have a little water, a little pebble, oh, okay, and then you're back on the rat wheel again because you want to get back to that little bit of water and that little bit of pebble, you know, that little bit of dopamine or whatever it is that's, you know, giving your sustaining, or, you know, that pleasure part of yourself, that survival part of yourself, what we're working for. But, you know, someone like Arsenio Hall or someone like Donald Trump, they're not really living in that world. Maybe they're living in it to varying degrees, because, you know, everybody's, you know, on some sort of rat well, whether it's like, you know, it's made out of plastic or gold. You could still be in a gold rat well. But you're not a player in the big club. I mean, think about Trump. Trump is a big man and has been for a really long time. Before Trump became president, he had people wanting him to be president. Why? Because Trump exemplifies the American dream. The American dream that people have. That, you know, like, say for instance, you know, it's like that girl. I made reference to that in the first part of the segment about how just if you think it could happen, think and grow rich. I don't want to say that, you know, a wave isn't a particle and a particle isn't a wave, and maybe your wave just isn't as strong as the other people that you are using waves to keep you down from getting what you want. But when I make a joke about, oh, I don't know, do I have a choice of my medication? Do we even have a choice of what we're going to be given for any type of treatment? Or are we going to even give a choice if, you know, we're giving, somebody's giving us a vaccination? What vaccination are we going to get? The rats. What vaccination do they get? Whose back does their you know, like, okay, so the mouse grows an ear for a human being. Or, you know, Trump has, you know, tiger's blood, so that can be split off into different ways. It's coming from him. Or is there, like, a lower version of Trump to cure people with whatever? And, you know, am I going to get a choice to have the best stuff? On Medi-Cal or whatever else is going to be happening. It makes me wonder, again, like I said, you know, it's always good to, you know, start prepping and I'm preparing for whatever might come down the pike. You know, whatever vaccination might be used on us. And again, I'm going to be very careful about how I'm speaking now, because if you even speak publicly against anything that isn't what is approved publicly by those who are in control of what should be said publicly, I'm not wanting, I mean, you know, I'm just expressing thoughts about how I might feel about something. I'm not telling you not to trust the medical system. I'm not telling you to, you know, not care for our president or vote for him or not vote for him. I'm simply sharing that, you know, I'm making it in simple form. Like, oh, you know, I woke up and, you know, someone tweeted about him taking mouse pus and he doesn't look like he's breathing well, to tiger's blood, to, you know, pharmaceuticals that were used, and he is back in the White House. So I'm thinking those pharmaceuticals are going to be more approved and, you know, be making some money. There will be a monetary advantage. And I just want to put it out to you, like, having been on a reality show myself, Hollywood gives you or conditions people to think that that's reality, when in fact it's not really reality. A lot of the people on reality television are stand-up comics like myself, whether it's a show about being a stand-up comedian living in a house with 10 other comedians that competed to be the top dog of everybody. Right? Set up, these are the chosen ones that might go on to be able to get back into what the Golden Club is. Let's see, and guess what? You, America, get to vote because you are our biggest consumer. And we think everybody's like that we will strategize and connive and play games and do psychological games and, you know, be observed as being, you know, the more invited rats, to have people look at what the rats are doing to get that pebble of water, whether it's going to be a big pebble or it's going to be a little pebble. Am I going to get a lot of water, or am I going to get just a little bit of water that I have to, like, conserve and make sure that I ration? Because I don't know. But that's reality television. That is kind of the same television that our current president is part of. And now, I'm not going to lie, and people, you know, and yes, I do smoke cannabis. I enjoy it. It helps me deal with all of this. I mostly ingest it as medicine because, you know, I've got anxiety levels. But I look back at everything and I go, wow, this is all bullshit. Like, what is going on here? Like, I feel like I'm watching a play, or I'm watching a movie, or I'm watching this nightmare of politics taking place in the United States. And I gotta be honest with you. No, I'm not trusting the plan right now. I know that's another indoctrination we get over the internet. Trust the plan. Trust the plan. Trump is going to make it all happen. He's going to drain the swamp. But what if he was just another actor in the swamp playing an illusion in front of us, playing the part of a president? Well, America is burning in front of us. And this is the reason why I'm probably not a motivational speaker. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm just a caffeine addicted MCT oil cannabis user, 25 CBD to 1% THC kind of gal. And none of what I'm saying is real. Because, seriously, what really is real right now is this our reality? And if this is our reality, who created it? And are we going to do something to create our way out of it? Because remember, a wave is a particle as a particle is a wave. So I wish you guys all the blessings, and that you and your family are safe, and that somehow we're going to see this thing through, because we know that our ancestors that came here to the United States, only 50 people lived from the Mayflower, and they sprouted the rest of what became America. We have to believe that we're survivors. Some of us will survive it. Some of us won't survive it. But maybe if we don't survive it, we'll help other people in the future to survive it. So, and hopefully we all get to keep laughing, keep seeing the lighter side of everything, and know that there is love in every single one of us. So, there's always a choice between fear and love, to quote Bill Hicks. And with that, I'm going to say good day and God bless.
The story